Well, training on roofs was something that we always kind of did.
We just kind of enjoyed going on roofs, we enjoyed moving around on roofs, exploring and doing that kind of stuff.
It just made me think, oh, this is what we do.
Roof Culture was just a 5-minute YouTube video, really, wasn't it, at the start?
People responded to it really, really well. Mainly because people hadn't seen anything like that, and the whole theme and feel of the video was like a context that parkour had never really been seen before.
A renegade style of movement on rooftops that almost goes back to the original style or the original reason why parkour had kind of been created in the first place.
It has always been happening since the founders, training up high. It's always been a thing in the sport.
We knew it was going to be a controversial project from the start, but didn't realise how much it was going to sort of cause a stir in the community and in the world outside of parkour as well.
The launch of the clothing and the kind of roof cult branding created this very sort of anti-establishment vibe, and it was definitely what they were going for. And I mean, they do question everything, and they are sort of the rebels, and they were the ones in the scene at the time doing something very different. The hashtag roof cult and the general parkour movement and the amount of sort of rooftop stuff going on has pushed this more and more into a cultural trend. Roof culture is all about taking the skills that you have developed and learned to the highest point that you can and testing yourself. But the hashtag was being taken away from where the guys intended it to be.
There are people that are just going on roofs for Instagram just to shock people that have no experience with height. It would be arrogant to say that we're reclaiming it, but we want to show that it's not about posing.
Then the idea of maybe we should do a roof culture too emerged, but mainly as a joke, just wouldn't it be funny if we could do that again? The way to step it up from what we did in the UK is bigger and better cities. There wasn't a decision process in oh, should we do roof culture in South America or Africa or do you know what I mean? It was just Asia was the obvious choice.
You have so many incredible cities and so much culture that is so different from what we normally experience.
It's just fucking tall buildings. It's huge, it's so intense there.
It's the next challenge. We never really put ourselves up against any kind of mega city before.
It all kind of made sense, and before long, Roof Culture Asia was the target, and the guys were just heading towards it.
There was so much up in the air and so much that we were unsure of. Just too many variables to be able to predict what we were actually going to be able to do. We didn't even know if we were going to be able to shoot any parkour.
We were just all joking around, just having fun until we actually land and realise, shit, we got to get this done. We got to actually start making a film.
What was your accommodation like?
Oh, fucking hell. Chunking mansion. Where do I even begin?
I don't see your name enough around the motherfucking city.
You never think about the worst possible situation, and then we kind of got in this lift and experienced it.
We basically have to share some miniature beds for the entirety of our 2-week stay in Hong Kong.
Potentially I'll sleep in the hall. That's not bad.
Every time I think of Chunking mansion now, it just makes me laugh. It's the shittest accommodation I've ever stayed in.
There's a toilet.
Within minutes, somebody had sat on a bed and it had broken, so the bed was thrown out into the corridor and a mattress was just laid on the floor. Block toilets, reeking of shit.
We truly believed that they'd messed up our booking.
How many people we have in one room.
It's just oh shit, this is the start. This is day one.
Home, boys. I fucking hate this place. My feet smell like a dead warthog. That's bad. As far as smells go, that's not a good smell.
So after the arrival and a bit of planning, we basically had to jump straight into scouting.
First day was just get out, climb as many roofs as possible and find the most amount of spots I possibly can.
So the plan right now, first day, we're just going to wander around Kowloon and see if we can get up onto any of these buildings just to get like the lay of the land and see what we're working with.
We have 2 weeks in each city, so it was really this race against time to find enough rooftops that were going to offer what we needed to make this film happen.
Basically trying to sharpen the knife, finding the best locations for filming and the movement.
Nice.
We were constantly splitting off into these little groups to explore different areas of the city.
You go out, you take photos and videos on your phone, and we had this WhatsApp group, and we're all putting everything in there at the end of the day, doing a little video and voicing it over, and it proved to be incredibly effective, actually.
When we came back to Wi-Fi, everyone could log in and see the spots of the day.
Whew. Finally.
Before we thought we'd be taking rest days maybe every like 3 days, but it was so much harder to find buildings than we originally thought that we just totally scrapped that plan. And basically every day was wrecking unless we had stuff to shoot.
I mean, he's sitting, isn't he? Huh? Before we check out the view. Parkour, freerunning. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Very simple. Very simple. But very dangerous.
Yeah.
Success. Sorry. Run.
I couldn't even tell you the amount of roofs we went on the first few days out in Hong Kong, but it involved a lot of security, a lot of running away, a lot of alarms, and basically getting to grips with the authorities and the architecture that we were going to be dealing with for the next 2 weeks.
I can't even fathom how many times we're going to do this.
I know, yeah.
We should keep a track.
What, how many roofs we know?
How many roofs we know.
The first alarm we encountered, we'd had enough success throughout the day that we were feeling cocky.
I mean, there's a security camera looking at you, but...
Like the loudest fucking alarm I have ever experienced in my life.
Kind of laughing, but kind of deaf in one ear as well.
And that was definitely the first bout of like, okay, we're gonna be experiencing alarms. We're gonna be experiencing security.
Maybe turn left. About 50% of the time the alarms went off, but 50% of the time is always worth a shot. It could not go off and we could find out what's on this roof, or it could go off and it will split your ears. That's how loud it is.
Obviously.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Open it, go. We need to get in. There's no alarm, please.
Is it worth looking at? Let's go.
It's just something we had to go through. Like, dealing with the alarms is part of your daily routine in the end. Sorry, sir.
Just taking some photos of the view.
Oh my God. Oh. Yes.
Another alarm.
Well done, Josh.
Where?
So there's a guy down there next to our stop. What is he doing?
Oh, get down, get down.
Go.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's he gone? We haven't got away with it yet. Shit.
3, 2, 1.
There is always that mindset from the general public that what we and the parkour community and Storo do is reckless. But when you see the behind the scenes of it, it's so calculated. Every single variable is taken into sort of consideration. And a prime example of this was we're on this roof and Benj finds this run that's this cat pass pre to a beam that is 30 stories up with a sheer drop on either side.
Cat pass, fly, arm jump.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to stay on that beam and stick it, he has to then jump to a wall and then sort of climb out of the risk. I mean, he goes through everything. He checks every surface. He preps every bit to the level that he can.
You don't always see something and say, yep, I'll do that. Or, yep, I can do that, I'll do that now. Some things you have to work on and you have to prepare for, and this was that thing. The height for me isn't a factor. Like, I'm not going to be doing something I can't do.
Just need to zone into the cat pass, I think.
As long as he's comfortable, I just have to trust his abilities.
The trust is absolutely fundamental. They're accepting that I know my own ability. So what they do from that point onwards is they just help, encourage, they give me points on stuff that I'm not necessarily thinking about. So the whole team is almost prepping the jump with me.
I mean, I just got to stay calm on the cat pass and then it's fine, I think.
It's weird because the commitment level that I had going into this trip, I knew I wanted to push myself. If I start prepping and it doesn't feel right, I won't do it. But as I was going through the stages, everything felt positive. That's when you commit. That's the point where you go, okay, yeah, there's no reason I shouldn't be doing this.
Yep.
It's never fun to watch, man. Like, it's never fun to watch. Oh, wow. That is sick, Ben.
You'll see the one I got, man.
Yeah. The group morale after the first few days in Hong Kong was really good. We were finding some awesome locations and we're starting to really get to grips with this new city that we'd all been so excited to come and train at.
Jesus. Yeah. You gotta go both legs simultaneously. Oh shit, your t-shirt. Fucking hell.
I've taken the wrong approach.
Hang on.
Everyone's taking different ways.
That was romantic almost.
We're not criminals.
Job's a good one.
Me and Benj went up this building that was maybe 30 to 40 stories high. And it was just 3 or 4 strides that were maybe 6 foot apart, but if you fell or messed up any step, then it was down to your death. I've done the same thing at like 5 stories before, but somehow it's different when you're at 40 stories. It messes with your mind a lot more. There's almost more of a certainty to it.
Okay, going. Yes.
Yeah, it's a shock. And those strides were a massive mental challenge. Like, you just have to get past it and just try and think, there is no way that I'm gonna mess this up. I could do this 1,000 times at ground level and I would never mess it up. So why would it be any different here?
What's through there?
and paste all over fingers.
So as we were getting into the swing of stuff in Hong Kong,
it was me, Max and Sasha, and we got off at a stop called North Point.
We found a tall block of flats and they're like separated into loads of different towers. I spotted a jump from one tower block to another.
Kind of like fairly small gap, but it was fucking high up, like maybe 25 stories or something.
I ended up doing the jump absolutely fine. I remember doing it like 3 or 4 times on Sasha's camera and asking him to film it on my phone in slow motion.
Go for it.
I posted it on my Instagram because I thought it was a cool clip.
We wake up the next morning, it's had 70,000 views on Instagram and already started getting some traction on blogs and things like this.
I think it took 2 days to get up to its full height of virality. Crazy, crazy amounts of views on it.
Within another day or so, it was on Unilad, on the Daily Mail, like it was getting picked up everywhere.
I think it must have racked up over 10 million views in total.
Ανάμεσα σε 2 ουρανοξύστες στο Hong Kong.
Ο αθλητής parkour match skate.
You could feel the heat around Hong Kong. The more and more exposure it got, the more millions of views it got. It was like, surely people are aware of this.
You would get people on the street like, oh, you're this guy, or oh, your story.
Some guy on the train came up to Toby with Max's jump on his phone again and said, do you think this is fake or real? And Toby just goes, ask him for yourself.
And I'm so glad and I'm so fortunate to meet you guys.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, man. Okay. Weird, fucking weird. He's got a video up on his phone and it's me, but he doesn't believe it.
Yeah? Yeah, that's great.
and so most people in Hong Kong had seen the video, including all the police force, of course, because it's illegal.
It was a hard one for us because North Point had this great abundance of rooftop spots and locations, but
the security and the police had kind of cottoned on to the fact that we were there.
Because obviously it's their job basically to stop us doing what we're doing.
So we sort of had to up our game further.
Still got quite a way to go. Maybe halfway or something. All the way up there. Job's a fucking good one. Yes. We're gonna have to get down from here quick, I think. Yeah. People in those escalators are spotting us, like. Yeah. Sick. Right, police down there. They were there already, though, right?
Getting your head around the heights, getting used to the jumps. That early on and at that height was hard.
You can actually get up.
Really?
Yeah.
Should I pass you back?
Yeah.
Yeah. See those pipes there. It's actually been spotted.
Who's that?
It's official scarf status.
Ouais, son consommé.
Cool, let's get the front down. Quick. Fucking get out. Do you know what time it is?
It's 4:30.
Nice one, thank you very much. Straight out the front door, that's how we do. That was ridiculous.
Me and Toby just arrived back from this sick mission. Met the other guys at the Apple store where we were supposed to be meeting, and they were having photos taken with them.
What is this? Sure, yeah, no problem.
Next, please. Seriously, I'm baffled.
And so we asked a few of them, like, do you know who we are or what we do? And they're like, yeah, you do parkour, right? You were on uni lab. Strangest thing that's ever happened.
It almost felt like everyone had seen the video. It was a strange experience.
Like if something happens in Hong Kong, it feels like everyone knows about it.
It's rainy season in Asia, so that means it rains quite often. We were ready to shoot our first like proper action sequence. Like just got my bag packed, everything. Look out the window, it's raining. I think that's gonna happen more than once on this trip.
So after I posted the clip online and it went viral,
Max wanted to go back and use that jump in a run.
We decided it would be a good idea to try and go back and try and film it with more angles because obviously so many people would like the jump.
I'm sure at least one person in this like apartment block has seen the video. And if they have, they would have told security.
And by then, North Point was a hot area.
Some people were going to shoot it from the floor, some people were going to shoot it from the roof.
It's starting to spit. Everyone's in position, everyone's ready. If it rains right now, it's going to be fucking shit.
Fucking rain. That's going to fuck them up.
While we were seeing the rain would pass, we clocked the security guard looking through the bushes, so maybe they have seen the video and they're on it.
We went away for half an hour and waited for it to dry up.
Dry up in half an hour? That's just fucking annoying that we've got everything set up and this is happening.
Did they get inside?
Well, I don't know. They're maybe in the lift right now, like thinking like, oh, we'll come up to dry weather.
Sorry, I cannot see here.
Yeah, robotic.
Thank you.
It's now dried up and we're going to go for the second take.
As we got to the lift, we were suddenly confronted by a huge number of security guards.
and we were just like, sorry, we're just visiting our friend. And they were like, what's your friend's name? And I was like, Scott. Like messed that up.
It was very obvious that they'd seen the viral clip. We get out of there as quickly as possible.
It's a complete change from last time we went up, so they've definitely seen the video. They've seen the video. We're now also being followed by the security guard of the place. Yeah, he's still following.
We do a good 3, 2, 1. I drop my bottle of water, do up my bag, and we will just start sprinting.
So we ran off and we've now lost him, I think. Got me back up with the others.
There was 4 of us waiting around the corner from the jump while the other team were going there and filming it.
At one stage I glanced over and I thought I saw Ryan a couple 100 meters away, and I was like, oh, maybe that's Ryan. So I ran over there and couldn't see him, but I looked left and saw this guy who was really looking at me and then was aware that he was following me. And I sat down and I was like, I think there's a policeman following me, and we kind of looked.
And police started walking towards us, and we thought, no way could that be for us. Like, I guess we're all wearing black, but no way would they know that we're in any way connected to that jump.
He started asking questions and started getting on the radio.
Have you been on roofs? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And we're all kind of denying it until the guy then pulls out his phone and scrolls down the Story Instagram feed.
And saw a picture of Josh. So they just walked up to Josh and said, look,
this is you, stop telling lies.
To which, of course, Josh couldn't, deny it. It was just a photo of him on his phone.
All of us were like, oh, shit.
They are just so aware of what we're doing. They just fully know.
We just got let go. They have all of our details. They were literally pulling up numerous Instagram feeds. They know where we're staying. Fucking hell, it's so shit. The Storers are going on a roof, shooting for a few hours, editing photos and putting them online straight away, and it's a trail of where we have been and where we might go again.
The policeman got out his phone and is scrolling down a news article with just maps.
What? So what now? The next week is going to be so hard to film anything.
The police literally were following us on social media. They were so aware of our presence.
They know who we are, what we're doing, all of our names.
Uploading this kind of stuff to social media while we're still in Hong Kong was a really bad idea. We decided that night that the best thing to do would be just to black out all our social media, just totally go underground until we finish all the filming in Hong Kong, and then we can bring it all back up again.
They knew we were professional freerunners, and we're here to make a film and stuff.
Perhaps the biggest agent of change is your cell phone. After all, a picture speaks 1,000 words, but one viral video can mean the difference between action and non-action.
So many police. Well, so now we're put in the weird position of we have 5 days left, we need to shoot a shitload more, and we have to carry on. We have to carry
on. Everything is against you, everything. The time, security, the weather, the access to the building, everything is against you. There's nothing that goes your way. And to be able to get through all of those obstacles and then find a line, find something that you're happy with, is so fucking hard. I can't explain. It's the hardest project I've ever been involved in.
Yeah.
It's a fun challenge sometimes, and there's a lot of problem solving that goes into it.
That's how you get past the coded door, ladies and gentlemen. You get Ryan Lovejoy with a broomstick.
Go. The others are at the bottom. Let's do this. The last 3-4 days of Hong Kong was intense. Like, we had a lot of filming to do, and we had a lot of ground to make up from all the previous wrecking.
One of the first spots we actually found was on top of our accommodation.
We kind of noticed that there was a gap there, like between these two roofs, and it did look like worryingly possible.
It's big. It's 17 stories high. It's 16 foot across.
Callum came up and looked at it and was like, actually, I think I could do that.
I look at this jump and I'm thinking, surely not, Callum. You know that, right? You can't make that.
If I work the run-up out and eliminate any variables of things that can go wrong, then I know it's something that would be possible.
Tomorrow we're having a meeting, right? Work it all out, and then I think we start here.
So first thing in the morning, we said to Callum, like, you ready, you want to do this jump? And he was up for it.
We all went up there, got the drone, got all the cameras.
So Callum's about to do this jump here, taking off here, running along here, and doing this gap. Man, if he does it, that'd be one of the fucking craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
Josh is getting his angle.
That's gonna be fucked, man. I think it's like, the nicest thing anyone's ever done.
It's gonna be fucking absolutely mental.
You've got a death drop this side, which is kind of daunting. So you just got to block everything out.
With Callum, he is such a prestigious and professional athlete that I do have a huge amount of confidence in him.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good about it. I just need to be sure about the run-up and the takeoff. As soon as I'm on that wall with some good speed.
Yeah. Callum is a monster at moving. Everything he does is drilled and drilled and drilled, and you know he's put in more training than anyone, and it shows.
Everything in my body is screaming no, but I know that he is a confident guy and his skill set is at a level where he can accomplish that sort of movement at that height.
The jump measures out at 16, but when I look at it like this, it looks fucking massive, and I think it's just because of that drop down there.
Every jump someone's going to do, no matter what the risk really or anything like that, when you can tell they're in that mental preparation state, you let them be.
The closer he's getting to actually going for it the first time, the scareder I got. All good? He starts getting more and more ready for the jump, and as soon as he's about to go, security come out.
By the time I decided, like, it's happening now, then there was no way that we were gonna let the security stop us.
Yeah, go for it, Callum.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yes.
My boy Callum!
And everyone was pumped, everyone was really happy with the fact that he'd just conquered this ridiculous gap.
That is maybe one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Fucking hell. That was so good.
I can't really convey how epic it was in words, to be honest. It just doesn't really do it justice at all.
Daughter.
The security guard's going mad, and we're like, okay, we'll leave. But then
Callum's like, got to do it again, not happy with the landing. So he gets back into position.
Which way angle are you filming from? Clear this way. Clear this way. Okay. Yeah.
Benj and Drew, I think, are like trying to talk to the guy to calm him down, but he's really, really not happy about it.
Tell me when he's going. Yeah, okay, yeah, I will. Running now. Wait!
Yeah, we get down, we get down.
Go straight into our apartment. We all hide in one room. Congratulating Callum, watching the footage.
Sorry, mate.
I basically made sure Callum was safe and then got the fuck out of there. I went across the road and I sat in Starbucks, and the whole situation had got so stressful so quickly with the security and the aggression. I didn't know whether or not I could do 5 more weeks of this, and it fully kind of shit me up. It was bizarre, and while this is going on, I was getting these WhatsApp messages going, police are outside the room.
Hide the SD cards.
So we're all in here because the policeman called and they're looking for us in this tower block.
And the guys are basically communicating through WhatsApp because the police are on the other side of their door, knocking away.
And the moment we heard them knock on the door next door to ours and move on from our door,
We just thought, yeah, now's the time. We have to get out of this.
And it was a very, very stressful day. But then I got back in the evening, and there is that constant drive to just push through it. And the general group mentality is always very, very driven. And if there is something that they can question, they will question it. And if it stands in their way of them being creative or breaking a jump or doing something that is going to kind of push them to a new level, that is what they will do, and that's what they do best. It is why Stora are as successful as they are, because they don't let a challenge get the better of them. I could have stayed in Hong Kong longer, but at the same time, I feel like we had completed it.
We were fully into the swing of stuff and ready to like get to the next destination and get our teeth sunk into like the next city.
30-meter gap.
Don't tell Tokyo we're coming.
It's not recording.
So we arrive in Tokyo and we get on this train and yeah, fucking hell, it took a long time. And we finally get to our area.
We'd done like a total of like 12 hours traveling or something, so all of us were pretty sick of having our big heavy bags and just wanted to like sort of get changed, have a shower and go to sleep.
And we eventually find what we think is our building, but we weren't certain at this stage. We had to look for this black box with a key in it.
You just have to find a key to get into your room, that's it.
What time is it? 2 a.m?
2:30.
2:30. We're in Tokyo, fucking lost to shit. I've no idea where we're sleeping tonight, and I'm really tired. Like the address we've got doesn't mean anything, so we're fucking stuck and lost in Tokyo.
And a policeman rocks up on his bike and we're like, oh, is this just your friendly neighborhood sort of Bobby coming along to help us out? And it's not. There's been a legitimate noise complaint from someone complaining about us just being on the street and talking.
Where are we sleeping tonight?
And then there's another noise complaint comes through and this phone gets passed over to Toby.
We're under arrest.
Okay, all good. All right, no problem. Didn't realise that. Yeah, sweet. So I ended up on the phone with some police chief woman who said there have been 2 noise complaints and we actually haven't been making any noise at all, surprisingly enough. Can't find our way in to this building. Woman wrote reply, so now we've got to go find a roof to sleep on. Woohoo! Love Tokyo so far.
That already was like, oh, okay, like, is that just this area? Are we in a posh area? Like, it felt relatively nice. Or is that just Tokyo? Is that what we're about to have to encounter?
All right, where are we going then?
Got to about 3 in the morning, still couldn't find this black box where the key was meant to be.
I went into a shop, Family Mart, across the road, got myself a nice little fizzy pineapple juice. Turned out to be 10% alcohol. Got a bit smashed. And then we ended up sleeping on the roof that night.
Got the lift to the top of the roof, out a fire exit, and all just laid on our bags and fell asleep. Straight up.
Woke up the next day, swelteringly hot.
And we didn't get into our apartment until the afternoon of the next day.
This is our Japanese apartment. Classic slider doors we got going on. We got 4 in this room. More classic sliding doors. See that, Callum? Couch sofa.
The culture in Japan is so different from what we're used to at home and what we're used to in Hong Kong. To like the UK and Europe, it is literally polar opposite.
It's like Las Vegas, but for nerds.
Kind of freaked out by like their mannerisms. Like they're all bowing at me and like they want to make themselves really small and I don't really understand it.
Then you get the whole anime thing, which is massive out there, and it is just the most bizarre place I've been, I think.
It's always nice to go somewhere that you haven't been before and experience a different country after 2 weeks in the same place. So the first couple of days were sort of, again, getting to grips of the area, of the country, going to Family Mart and get some different food for a change, you know, it's just like fun again.
You're all right, pal. It looks like vomit. Everything is fish flavoured. That's all I've got to say.
I like to think that there is no risk. I like to think we get to a point where we're relying solely on our skill and relying on a certainty that we are going to make it, and there is going to be no other variable other than success. Our time in Hong Kong definitely showed us how important ground training is, because you need to know yourself at ground level before you take anything up high.
You're never going to look at a roof gap that is higher than a story and go, there's a chance I might not make that, because if there is a chance, then that chance exists, and then you could die. Like, it's as simple as that.
Right now we're just having a little training session on undercover spot because it just hacked it down with rain. It's kind of sort of KO'd our day in terms of actually being able to train anywhere decent. This place is pretty cool though. So yeah, just having a little session with the locals really.
We'd already prepared to meet up with some locals, Takuya and Masaru and a few others, just to utilise some of Tokyo's incredible spots and to just have a break from training at height.
All these big jumps at height would not exist without the 10 years experience at ground level.
What a lot of people probably don't understand when they see people doing parkour is that they just see these guys, in this extreme case, running and jumping from buildings, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But people don't realise the amount of effort that's gone into being able to do these kind of amazing feats. If you think about any other like athletic sport or discipline, you see all these athletes training behind the scenes, and almost our ground training is that, if you know what I mean? It's that build up to then doing the stuff at height.
It's always nice to go to a new city and see what people have done, and Takuya's like, oh, so-and-so's tried this, you know, oh, that's really cool, and then you try some of your own stuff, and it's basically like a parkour tour.
It was a big relief to actually train at some ground spots after Hong Kong, where everything was like 40 stories high. So like, nah, I've got to do it now. Yeah. Shit. Yeah.
Jimmy, bang, bang. Just turned 21. Fucking empty life, boy, I'm after some fun. Jack of all trades and the master of none. I've been working all day until this graph is done. I'm setting sail to a place uncharted. And they told me that the home is where the heart is. To me, home is only a place that I started. I'm setting sail to a place uncharted. Grab a matchstick, cause we heading for the darkness. And they told me that the home is where the heart is. To me, home is only a place that I started. Yeah, and I don't even know the half of it. All I can do really is just laugh at it.
Guess who started filming too late? Okay. Oh, that was bang.
he's filming. Okay. Sorry. Ninja Warrior.
Get less trouble on the roof.
See you later.
That's too difficult.
It's Christ the Redeemer, it's Jimmy Bang's bitch, and it's really nice to meet ya. You can fucking hear the bass pumping through your speakers. You never catch me running, cause I never fit a reaper. Fuck it, I'm immortal, you bosses can't murder me. Angels and demons on my shoulder blades, purgatory. Heard of me? Oh, you probably ain't. They set a decision, I've just gotta be great, I've gotta be paid, but
I find myself in a strange location.
The audience is becoming quite amusing. You have a little look over there.
Go on, Charles! Pressure!
In order to do this kind of stuff, in order to like develop your skills to that level, you have to have discipline, and that's what this section of the film is all about. Is showing that you can't just do difficult stuff without having preparation, without years of discipline and training in order to develop your physical skills to the level where you can perform on that stage of life or death.
Any free runner and dresseur starts from the ground up.
It is not all about high rooftop stuff. Like, pushing yourself at ground level is the absolute most important part of parkour. Oh my god, it could actually happen.
Oh my lord. I stab a man and then I leave him squirming, cause my heart's callous like the hands of a German. And what the fuck? I'm still learning. We're all gang shit, now we coming for your earnings.
That's sort of the beauty in ground training, is that you can really find out what your body is physically capable of and not really have to worry about pushing through those mental barriers that you have to up at height.
Double back straight out, I'm bloody tumble. Yeah, we coming back with the boom bap, spitting them true raps. You can see us flipping roof gaps, you know that we do that. Shit, yeah. You never thought possible, you got a full of bubbles. I don't think that you lost it all. Yeah, shoulda, woulda, and I coulda. I took a bit of action, now I'm
The amount of tries it took me, I'd never commit to on a rooftop, because you know, you mess up once up there and you aren't training ever again. You mess up 10 times on ground level and you can mess up 10 times more, it doesn't matter.
Just fuck up! Put your bloody hands up for my railroad. It's my railroad. Come put your hands up. Come join the movement. Feds don't ever chase till we lose them. Put your bloody hands up.
You're invading my privacy.
It's my railroad. Come put your hands up. I hide you up again, keep the doctors away. It's the little passion prince, aka Patrick K. I'm here to stay for another day. Feds chase, but I run away. This SD card that I tuck away, I keep it in my pants so they can't find it. Looking for another roof gap, just decided. I just decided that I need to climb shit. I fell off of a roof, and my boy gave me the Heimlich. And then our eyes met. What? It got me feeling weird. Is that an angel? Nah.
See you later,
my
Max.
boy's hairy beard, but I'm trying to change the game. I got clean feels like passion. I may not sound the same, but I'm the same old sapper. Cause I'm still spitting in front, flipping my feet, tripping in that tech wash. I get lost watching Jump Britain. Yeah, you check that bar work, lash it double back, landed wrong, but I still spit out a hard verse. Yeah. So come join the movement. Feds don't ever chase till we lose them. Put your bloody hands up for my railroad. It's my railroad. Come put your hands up. So come join the movement. Feds don't ever chase till we lose them. Put your bloody hands up for my railroad. It's my railroad. Come put your hands up.
At ground level, there's the opportunity for the guys to push themselves a lot harder and test themselves. Training on rooftops is not about testing your limits. It's about proving your capability And it's kind of like a celebration of all the hours spent training on ground and your accomplishments and the things that you already can do.
It's very important if you're watching this and feel like you should be pushing yourself at crazy heights before you're ready, because eventually people will hurt themselves, and it's not something we would encourage at all.
So when you get down to ground training, that's where you really push these limits and you progress physically.
Something that might feel like impossible from the start, like you're terrified of it. But if you keep working towards it, like getting rid of these mental barriers through like just preparation, then this is just feeling, feeling better about this already. It's already feeling possible.
That was beautiful.
One punch man. One punch man! The spots in Tokyo are great. I really want to go back there at some point because we didn't actually go to like some of the best ones.
I was like almost like a kid in a candy store, wanting to go on these rooftops, which we hadn't really explored properly yet. So I was really like, I was enjoying it, but I was really like, I want to go on the rooftops and see what they're like. I want to see what Tokyo has to offer in that sense.
So obviously after 2 weeks of solid practice in Hong Kong, we'd realised that scouting was ridiculously important.
So on our first proper day of scouting, we leave our apartment, and while Josh is waiting, he starts swinging around this pole, just swinging around it and landing back on the step.
And the pole literally came out from the floor and went towards the ground. And I literally managed to just catch it before it hit the ground.
And we were like, oh shit, Josh, you broke a post, and we laid it down on the floor and continued down the road.
Very quiet area, no one's about, but we're walking down the road and within a minute, it's crazy, this police car comes up, little woo, siren on, lights flash.
The guys had just crossed the road when the green man wasn't on, and I thought it might be for jaywalking, but then...
No way. No way!
Yeah, look. He's describing it. Yeah, he's describing it fully over.
But how would he be that? Yeah, it is.
Not ideal. Josh was swinging around on some post and it snapped off because it was rusty at the bottom.
Did you say
and
before?
Someone called the police instantly.
England!
They were like, oh, were you drinking? Like, they wanted to know why we were here, what we were doing.
The police numbers have doubled, maybe? Look at this. Oh, sorry.
And then I had to kind of like, really be apologetic, but I didn't mean to.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. It's fucking crazy how like one person called the police and now there's like...
This is going to be the biggest challenge in Tokyo for sure. Just like trying to evade the police.
They don't take a shit lightly. They weren't angry about the pole. They understood eventually that it was a mistake. They could see that it was rusty. But the police have to play by the book out there.
We were thinking at this point, if it's like this right now, then what's it going to be like for the rest of the trip?
How long will you stay in Japan?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
We're going to be on so many rooftops you wouldn't believe, and from that moment on we knew we were going to be in trouble.
Sees the purple, the darkest colour in the spectrum. Bastard carve flesh and start to dissect you. I'm that cold, I'm Arctic, dog test me on arse with bars that aren't ours. It's extra martial artist. I marks the dead, your master moves that master sight from your wetness. Hungry nigga, starving hard till I get this. Harnessing harshness, my heart full of vengeance. And I go hard with the sentence, but nothing like it.
Rainy, recce day in Tokyo.
I'm up here with Drew, getting some photos. And yeah, every single roof is so different. So it should be quite interesting to start trying to find actual parkour lines. I mean, it looks like there's fucking loads.
First day scouting in Tokyo.
Did an MC without even my arms a full extension. Only started an entry, but I'm gone like a veteran. Only 3 years away from being born.
Me and Max climbing this little tower thing over here. Oh, there's Drew and Toby over there. Sick.
Besides the parts that you repping, most of you niggas can't even answer that question, but still think.
We've just spotted the guys.
See the facade that you present. Ain't nowhere near as hard. It's impressive when you're next to a guy who's got some bars with a message from his heart through a pen tip. Got his speeches.
We might have just been hustled. Not good.
We've just started scouting in Tokyo. First roof we've come on, police car stops outside down there, but we don't think it was for us. But now there's 2 police cars driving up and down the road outside our building. Their sirens on. I don't think they're for us. Or they don't know how to get to us. Either way,
Let's
we
go.
should go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I bring the best and I give the strength to my funeral. You're incorrect if you think you're testing me suitable. I'll spin your head off your flipping neck when the tunes are done. You do the dumb, get beat like I'm smooth as fuck, check me, I'm cool, you know what you're doing, but come check me if you move the rock. I'm moving up, techniques are crucial, blood. Guys are like, eh, how'd you get up in the crew with them? And I'm like, yo.
Job's a good one.
But I'm still Trilly, I'm that mutant one. Ugly nigga, but imperfections are beautiful. And guy says he rates me, but it ain't mutual.
Too late, boys.
After the first day of scouting in Tokyo, we were pretty apprehensive as to what we were actually going to be able to shoot. The architecture was so erratic. There was no pattern to the city at all.
I don't have a clue where to go. It looks kind of like similar in all directions. What about this, that white one there? Yeah?
Maybe.
You can look down the street and every single building is different. And so the roof will be totally different on this one to the next. So that makes it really difficult because you can't judge how good a roof is going to be from the bottom.
You'd be like, oh, that looks so good. It's a lot lower level, not as high. You look at it from the ground and be like, well, it looks really good, I want to go on that.
There's a lot of eyes on us, so try not to look too mental. Yeah, across there's loads of people in the stairwell and they were building.
So my immediate impressions after the first couple of scouts were like, shit, this is a mess.
Almost every single building is different. You get these high-rise buildings next to 3-story buildings, and then every single one is just cluttered with steel beams, pipes, and air conditioning units.
No, we've been on like 3 or 4 now, and every building seems to be really cluttered. Like there's no open space, there's no like room for run up or like movement. But maybe we just need to get used to it or find something different.
90% of the stuff is unsafe, so you can't use it. And it's really, really frustrating and really hard to scout a line through all of that unsafe clutter.
You could get up so many more buildings a day, but so many more buildings a day were just awful.
If anything, we'd have to change up our approach and style completely.
Scouting is tough as it is in a good environment, but Tokyo was something else. Like, it's just days and days of failure, essentially.
Get up at 8 every day, split up, go walk around for fucking hours, walk up hundreds of flights of stairs, and basically find nothing.
This is the most fucked I've been in all of my training career. My eyes are blurry with sweat.
That was when the kind of morale started to drop and the motivation started to dwindle because it did just start to feel like a job.
We knew what style of movement we wanted to find on these buildings, and initially it wasn't coming together.
We've heard from other traceurs that roof-topping in Tokyo was hard and you would spend time in jail if you get caught. So we already knew that was the thing before we had even left for the whole trip. Yeah, that's actually made quite a lot of difference right there.
No chill.
Maybe it is us because we are opposite these apartments, so we didn't even notice.
Watch it.
Fuck, man. Yeah, they're coming back round. Oh shit, boys. There was a main group who got on the lift, and then me and Toby would have had to go down the stairs because there wasn't enough room in the lift.
Just there, they're just there. Police are just there, so if we go downstairs.
Toby then takes the GoPro, and I just went, fuck it, I'm just gonna go across this way and go down.
I promise you. Just hold it.
Yeah, of course. No way on this roof.
Wait, hold, don't run yet, because if they drive past. Nah, keep going. Fucking hell. There's 2 police cars outside the front.
Literally getting ready to sprint. It's like this. Fucking, here we go.
Look at the skin of our teeth. They were outside the front, and we walked out the front. They saw us and everything. Looked behind, there was 2 with their lights on. They just didn't follow us. What do you reckon? Josh and Toby got caught, yes or no?
Yeah.
Like, we were very jamming to get away from that, I think.
Yeah, I'm in a family mart right now, and the police are literally coming past every maybe 30 seconds, I don't know. I'm like probably up the other way to where you went.
We're probably going to get further away because that sounds fucking sketchy. Do you know where Josh is, or did you guys split up?
Oh, Josh might be caught. I just spoke to the others just now. They somehow escaped by just walking past them. I honestly have no idea. Like, police on bikes going past every like 30 seconds or something from around the back.
Trying to find you and you're just chilling in family mart.
Where the fuck have they gone? We just literally walked out the front door. Like. Josh might be caught though. He's not been on Wi-Fi yet, so he could well be caught.
And I hear like 5 or 6 police officers go past, and I'm like, shit, that means they must be gone. So I turn by this wall and drop down, bam, and then walk out of this little car park, and I see this police car on the left and then 2 police officers there. I'm like, just try and casually walk away, and then one of them just grabbed me on the shoulder, and I was just like, I just get put against the wall, and then I'm literally surrounded by so many police officers, and I'm just like, oh God, like trying to get my point across, but obviously there's a language barrier, so, but I still have to get taken back to the police station. They were just like mocking me because I was English, like laughing at me, and then they said, we have to take you back to your house and get your passport. So I was like, oh, okay, go on then. And then they have to write an apology letter, which is quite weird, and then they let me go.
When we got stuck into it in the first few days, we noticed that everybody kind of plays for the same team in Japan. So it's like if a Japanese person sees us on another Japanese person's roof, they'll like want to call the police and stop it happening because they look after their neighbor, and it's that kind of thing, which is obviously great, but just not when you're trying to film roof culture.
As soon as we leave Tamagotchi Station, now what was it actually, Tamachi or something? As soon as we left Tamachi Station, as soon as we left this train station, we find this roof. So we just like casually walk up, and we're up there for 15 minutes trying to get runs, and suddenly...
Get down and stay here. I feel like there's no point in splitting up from the others.
Yeah, let's go.
Josh like shouts over and he's like, police here, police. And then Callum starts saying like, oh, there's police here as well, police here. So I carry on going down the stairs, jump across to another roof, and then notice that there's like maybe 10, 15 police on this roof.
All with their batons out, all shouting, and we're just like, whoa, we have not experienced this before.
And then like 10 police come and swarm me, and there's like one translator guy.
They instantly grab us all one by one. They've got Josh by the arm, and we all meet up at the bottom.
We're all just looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is such an overreaction.
I was on the phone talking to a translator.
He's basically saying we need to go back to the police station, and Callum's saying, can't we just give him our details and that's fine.
Fucking hell.
But Josh said, oh, there's police here. And then they appeared from literally everywhere. It's like searched all our stuff, took everything out, like interviewed us all separately. Then we had to drive back to get our passports at the thing, took all our details, like blood type, hair colour, shoe size, height, everything. If they thought we weren't taking photos, we would have been fucked.
So they don't need to lock. Everyone plays along. Yeah.
Everyone plays on the same team. Like, they really do.
Me, Drew, Sasha and Josh were all pretty shook up by the whole scenario. If it's that serious here, if it's that tight, it's that illegal, then what are the chances of us carrying on? Like, we were pretty certain that we weren't going to do any more roof stuff that day because we thought that would just be straight up stupid. But then later on in the afternoon, we decided that there is no difference between being caught today or being caught tomorrow. We have to make this film happen. We've got a job to do. We're here to do this. If it means being arrested again or a few more times, then fine. Like, it's got to be done.
Calling for poetic justice. Fed up with these emotions I'm stuck with. Forever on trial. Bang, bang, case adjourned. Attorney won't even take the turn. Your Honor, where's honor? The key through perhaps had me moving in sick ways, but I'm through with that. I'll make sure you know who I am. This ain't the movies, this is me truthfully. Standing here head higher than a flipping bench and witness stand. You sit before me to witness man and his potential. My mind's a gold mine to fundamental in spirit. Not with plain paper, I'm still flying paper planes. I ain't a slave today, nor tomorrow. I do not follow. I am me. I got dreams. Not a 9 to 5, I will not rot away. Not today, nor tomorrow. I do not follow. I won't abide just to roll over and die. Not today, nor tomorrow. I do not follow.
When I'm about to take off for a jump, I am completely calm. Nothing matters, nothing changes mid-air. You have this one job and you execute it. Of course there's risks, right? Yeah, that's obvious, but we're not taking that leap of faith that everyone thinks that it is. It's so calculated. You break everything down into chunks.
This is actually solid to take off. Super solid. And our bench is just over there testing the landing. If that's good, I reckon. Give it a go. Now, how about the black bench? Off. First jump of the day. That's the one.
Nice.
All I have in this whole entire world is this one job, and it's to do this move. And there's nothing else. There really, it's so cliche to say, but there really is nothing else. Towards the end of Tokyo, when we were wrapping up all our footage, I was like, 2 weeks here, I'm good to move on, and I'm looking forward to Seoul and the last phase 3 of the trip.
I was so happy to be leaving Tokyo. I think if we had another week in Tokyo, I think I would have pulled my hair out of stress.
Even though I love Japan and I love Tokyo as a city, shooting the film is very challenging with the authority.
Getting on that plane and heading over to Seoul was a huge kind of sigh of relief.
Fresh slate of just like, this is now my experience of Seoul, what's it going to be like?
Just speak.
Microphone check, 1, 2, who is this?
Perfect. Okay, give me a clap in front of your face.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. It's like doing a fucking episode of Giles and Bars.
Fuck.
I find pissing in a bottle so hard.
Now I'm gonna glisten.
Upnam Gangnam Style.
I say fuck too much.
What we tried to redo in Seoul was to kind of really switch it up.
Hey there.
Gay!
Fuck.
I didn't really know what to expect when I came to Seoul at all. I mean, Giles told me a pack of lies. He told me that the train windows frosted up when they went past skyscrapers and there's flying cars and shit like that. And obviously I believed that.
Really nestled in the mountains, isn't it? Like...
Yeah, it's really nestled in the mountains. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Within the first few days, I kind of established that the people of Seoul are very nice.
Thank you.
People were stopping and asking us questions in the street and laughing, and it seemed like quite like a friendly vibe.
Joby said it would be 100% rain in half an hour. I'd just like to say a huge shout out to 7-Eleven, because without 7-Eleven this trip would be impossible.
Where are you from?
England. Do you like the song?
Yeah, you like songs?
Yeah, I like the song.
Oh, so I think, wait, was this the first day scouting? Me, Max and Drew on the tube, right? Well, okay, we'll go to Gangnam. Like, that's a popular place in Seoul. Turned up, walked 2 minutes down the road, and boom, there's this jump. I can remember just looking at it for the first time. The gap goes all the way down to the floor, and it's just that visible feet between that building and that building.
So we had to go in this like clothing store, through the changing rooms to this fire exit, walk up a few sets, get up the lift to the top story, and then out into their smoking area, climb up a ladder and get on top of the roof to see what the takeoff was like, and it was perfect.
The only problem with this gap was how slippery the run-up was.
The takeoff was like shiny metal. You put your foot on the ground, it would slip like that. So I'm like thinking about that over and over again, just like me slipping, me falling, and not falling a story, but now I'm falling 20 stories.
So we tried spitting on our shoes and taking off all the dust, still slippery.
So that was like the main issue. I just kept on thinking, I can't do this jump without a better takeoff.
What we decided to do was something we actually have never done before.
Oh yeah, that's
Taping.
perfect.
Taping.
2, maybe 3. How sticky? Is it sticky?
Okay.
Like sticky? Okay. Basically, I'm going to do a really big roof jump and the takeoff's really slippery, so we need tape so it's really grippy. Is that all right?
3,001, 10,001.
Got to do it now. Let's go.
The guys got Wi-Fi and pretty much summoned the whole team to come and film this gap.
At one stage, we were on different sides of the city, and we got this WhatsApp message saying, like, get here now, we found this jump, like, the guys want to get it done today.
It's just been like sitting in that Starbucks waiting for the others with the drone and the FS700, just stewing with nerves. Just, that's what it is. I'm the sort of person, I'm like, get up and go and just want to do it straight away. Just waiting is the worst.
We went and got the drone back from the apartment and we trekked over there and we all knew our roles.
Well, I guess I'm getting the shot from here. I can see them at the top. I don't know if I'm going to get kicked off here.
So the situation is I'm currently trying not to point this up at the sky because we're on a relatively populated road. Max is standing on the edge of this building ready to jump. Keeps doing preps.
Yeah, okay, Jerome's up. And he's loud.
He's still prepping.
For fuck's sake, how many fucking people just clocked in straight away? Here we go. No, cover the speed. Come the fuck on, this is so tense.
Throughout the whole prepping process, people were coming out for cigarettes on the top of the roof.
So people come out and have cigarettes, and like you have like a window of like 10 minutes to do the jump before the next person comes out and has a cigarette. So I think next time I go in, I'm going to go for it. Clear.
With these guys, when they're pushing themselves to their absolute kind of mental limits at height, I trust them. I really, really do. There's been no moment on this trip where I've genuinely been like, oh, he's gonna die, he's gonna die. Like, you're aware of the risks, but you have to just think, okay, he's comfortable, he's prepared, he's gonna give this everything that he has, and I'm very confident it's gonna go fine.
That was beautiful. Easy. You did it so That was so beautiful. Holy shit.
Going first with an unknown jump is always the hardest, and just I have a mad amount of respect for what he did then.
You got it. So did you see her like slightly stuttered on the run up and it was still fine? Obviously put effort into it, but once you're in mid-air you'll feel it. The landing's fine, just go for it, you got it.
Yeah.
Alan, when do you want to go?
Like 3 months ago now, yeah.
All right, okay. I'll go after you then, guys.
Going second is so much better than going first, definitely. It's almost like the first person unlocks it, and then it's so much easier to go for. The decision is made as soon as you think, yes, this is possible. Before you commit to run up and you're going to go for it, it is like you've already done it.
Fucking hell.
Physical challenges and technical challenges, they're all well and good. Like, you go home feeling great, but the thing that fills me with the most joy and happiness is overcoming mental barriers, overcoming fear.
Sick. It's a wrap. We get out of here. Fucking yeah.
Callum doing it, I was like, yes, and then Ben's doing it, and absolutely fine. It's just like, that was the best feeling. Like, I can't explain how happy I was at that point. I found that day, and 4 hours later, it had been filmed, and it was in the bag.
I'm doing a fat roof jump suddenly in a lift. Oh, someone's too heavy. Yeah.
That single moment, running down the stairs and then out to the building and all meeting up, that's the feeling of roof culture. That feeling of group accomplishment. We conquered this thing all together and we captured it.
Oh, fucking nice.
That's what we came out here to do in my head.
I was more happy for you two when you did it. I was like, fucking yeah. I was like,
that jump sums up roof culture as a project. Everything came together.
For the rest of the day, I just had a straight up smile on my face. It's just, I can even, like, I'm smiling now just thinking about how good that felt.
Yeah.
We're accomplishing stuff that we're going to remember for the rest of our life. I'll never forget that roof gap. Like, I will never forget it.
Talk me through your morning routine, Toby.
Go buy coffee.
What are you doing?
It's actually meant to put your shoe on properly.
Done. So the first couple of days, Recce and Seoul, the rooftops were better than Tokyo, so it's a thumbs up.
We accustomed to the consistent training quite quickly. The more exhausting part was just scouting every day, walking up so many stairs. If a lift needed a key card, if there was security at the bottom floor, we'd be walking 30 stories of stairs, come to a locked door and have to walk it all the way back down.
Just walked up 20 floors.
That's got to be an alarm. That is an alarm. That's a key card. Need a key access. How many floors have we just done?
25?
Stairs, more fucking stairs.
No, come on, there's got to be some fucking roofs. Look how many roofs there are. It's just so hard to fucking find them.
you just have to keep doing it because you know there's that small possibility that there could be something amazing up there.
Very good. Big, massive team run, I reckon. There's gaps there as well, look.
Like not high gaps, but fun gaps.
Yeah.
It's always that, we'll try one more. We'll go that extra building over there, just in case. And that extra 10% has made so much difference in this project. We couldn't have done it any other way.
What are your thoughts on this?
I've already had one shower this morning.
Watch that baby grow!
Oh, I butchered that.
Yeah!
Oh, oh.
Fuck you! I'm just stuck in the 70s. I can't get out.
I just got 58 3 times in a row.
That's good, mate. Oh! Oh!
Ow! New high score. Have you met the green alien when you get past 1,000?
Yeah, I've shagged it.
Hello? Hello?
I mean, when you've been wrecking all day, it's fucking boring.
It
You've
gets to
got
the
to spice it up a bit, ain't you?
It gets to your head, it does. We've all been a bit loopy from the sun.
Loopy.
Loopy.
How dare you get anywhere near my bag?
Shit!
That's a fucking big butterfly.
You get up onto these roofs, and if there are security, you might initially have that kind of, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? But like, we've had the odd occurrence where like we've been mid-filming of a line, and you say 5 minutes, whatever you say to them, and the absolute majority of the time they step back and they watch.
Security.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, no more, no more.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. Sorry for the hassle. Nice to meet you.
Well done, bench.
Celebratory peach.
Some worker is taking us to the roof after trying to kick us off.
Ben, you gotta go down.
Hey.
22.
24.
Thank you, brother.
Fucking hell, boys. This catwalk might be worth it.
Tape, tape, tape. Every day tape.
Yeah, so you climb out of it, that is a problem. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No, we're sorry.
All we want to do is get like one clip. If you give us like 5 minutes, we'll go.
I have to call the car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. I don't think it's possible.
Sake, I thought we had it then. You have something you want to film, you have something you really want to do. You go up there, you get ready to film, and then suddenly a security guard comes out and your whole line is just cut.
Oh, he's hit my score.
You're on one here, right?
Come on, Ryan.
Take it easy, guys. Take it easy.
90. Fucking hell, here comes the high score. Here comes the jump in. Here comes the
Chill. Oh, big
Chill,
moment.
bro,
This is
chill.
the biggest moment in roof culture history. But.
What's his record?
115.
More adrenaline than any roof gap.
Wait!
So hard. Not done so hard.
Let it chill.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
it's gone off!
Oh, that was a risky tap.
Fuck me. Oh, he's good.
Chunking.
Is that your last?
Yeah, that was my last
So obviously in the last roof culture I did a 360 dive roll over a rail roof gap, which was pretty fun. And so I've kind of made it my mission for this whole trip to find one.
What's the situation?
Drew's just struggling to get steps. Awkward run-ups and such.
But obviously because of like me being ill at the start and then me having the heel injury, I hadn't really had the opportunity to break any like big mental barriers at any point on the trip. And so I started prepping for this dive roll and was like, okay, I'll just do the dive roll first, do that a few times, get confident with it, and then I can do the 360. I kind of underestimated how hard it was to break that first mental barrier of like diving over this gap up over a wall, like the first time, having not done it before.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
He sounds very confident. He just said he can feel himself wanting to spin, so if he wants to spin, he should spin.
And so once I'd broken the mental barrier and like beaten the voices in my head of doing the dive round going over the gap, really the challenge sort of changed, and it was away from like the difficulty in the move, and now it's like kind of the time spent in the sun.
Toilet well.
What's the matter?
I'm fucking boiling. This place is horrible. It's so hot. My head's pounding.
I was up on the roof filming with like my t-shirt over my head, and you're in like pools of sweat.
Whether you're an athlete or a filmmaker, or in Sasha's case, both, heat is definitely one of the most difficult things to cope with out here.
Usually when I'm trying to cool down.
Dehydration and low blood sugar levels, never good for when you're trying a dangerous move.
Yeah. Like your ears are all constantly popped.
Yeah. And people think you guys are reckless. Taking 5 minutes out.
Take 5 minutes to cool down, make sure I don't hurt myself.
Absolutely knackered.
Oh, I'm so hot.
And what are you trying to do?
Side flip over roof gap, run. 360 dive roll roof gap, run. Hurdle over the barbed wire and bolt up.
All in the blistering heat.
All in the devil's heat. Should do it.
Ah!
Drew just said this is going to be fucking hard.
Right. Ready?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seoul has been an interesting one because it's been so easy in a way. There was so much chaos happening with the police and the viral video, and then Tokyo was kind of the same thing. It was incredibly high stress, and it's just felt like we've come to a city with this aim to create and capture good content, and I think Seoul has just given that to us. It's been such a positive end to this entire journey. That's a wrap on Roof Culture Asia.
The weird thing about coming to the end of this project now is that at the start of this trip, I knew this was the point. I'll be here talking to you about roof culture. But at the start, I didn't have a clue what was going to happen. It was always going to be the unknown.
We've done it.
We've done it. We've actually done it.
Wait, that was an idea once. Now it's a thing. We've actually made it into a thing.
The commitment levels from every single person on this trip has been like unbelievable.
That's why projects like this can happen, is because everyone comes together at the right time, and it's amazing to be working as part of that kind of well-oiled machine.
For this to happen on this trip, I guess it probably means roof culture is something quite special to all of us. It's sort of like a baby we've grown up from training on roofs in our hometowns to Asia, you know, and we feel partially responsible for how the growth of the roof-topping scene has gone. We want to take it in a direction that's safe and that's positive.
We knew it was going to be hard, but it's easily been the most exhausting 6 weeks of my entire life.
Weeks and weeks of hard work and effort and mental and physical barriers that you've got to overcome, and it's like, you look at it in January and it's like this unfathomable thing that's like, how are we ever going to get to the top of that? And now, sitting on the other side of it, it's just surreal is the only word I can kind of, that is the best word for it.
How'd you feel, Max?
Oh, mate, I am super happy.
You know, if you take stuff day by day and just take things as they come, then you can overcome a task as big as Roof Culture Asia.
And the fact that we've got here simply through a bit of aspiration and teamwork is easily the most rewarding feeling of my life, by far.
And it's like, fuck, like that went to plan, that worked, that everything came together, and it's so good to be a part of.
Being on roofs since I've started training has always been associated with fear for me. And I think people can get a lot more out of life through doing things that are out of their comfort zone, doing things that scare them, whether in parkour or in life or anything.
Oh, you're supposed to walk on this pavement, you're supposed to cross the road at this time. Oh, don't go up here. There's so many things that you have to do.
It's great to question things that are told to be absolute and 100% true.
you see, you've got parkour, you've got fear, you've got freedom, you've got expression. All of those feelings, emotions, and disciplines get rounded off into one form, and that is roof culture.
This is our culture. This is roof culture.